Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very surprised, I'm actually quite shocked that no one seems to be understanding, or not many people at least, seem to be understanding what is really going on here on Bitcoin. This goes a lot deeper than TA. This video, I'll be looking at TA, I'll be looking at funding rates, which are very, very important on Bitcoin, and the TA in general representing massive exhaustion on the Bitcoin chart. But the fact of the matter is, it's not the TA that has brought us this high on Bitcoin, it's the fundamentals. It's the ETF event, and this opens us up to a massively high possibility and a growing possibility of a scam move on Bitcoin that could leave a lot of people wrecked. You need to prepare for it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be looking into that move today. Let's get into it. As per the title and the introduction, I'm purely just shocked that no one is watching this right now. What am I talking about? I'm talking about funding rates, okay? Funding rates across the board, right? On all massive altcoins, I could go down this list all the way down. Mostly the red on the screen means they're positive. Now, what this means is essentially the market is dramatically overbought. The bulls are going too far. And generally speaking, when you see funding rates this high across the board, barely any green here whatsoever, there's some neutral, barely any green here whatsoever. When you see funding rates this high across the board on all these major altcoins, literally hundreds of them, it means a market correction is on the way. Now, that's big, okay? And that's literally what I wanted to discuss in this video, but I'm going to lead it into another topic. I'm going to lead it into the topic we've been discussing quite massively and tell you why this is relevant. The surprising reality is funding rates have been massively positive and hence massively bearish for a long period of time now. And why have they been like that? Well, as the market has climbed higher and higher, you've seen these rates get more and more positive. You can see on this map here, just in the last few days, in fact, specifically in the last week or so, we've seen these rates just climb and climb and climb. And you go back to December 20th when they started kind of building up again. What happened on December 20th? Well, on December 20th, that's when we came back upwards and re-established our dominance after that move downwards. And on December 10th, which is when we saw a dip in these funding rates here on the heat map, you can see on December 10th, we had this sudden spike downwards in funding rates. And you can see that's when we moved downwards in the price. The short-term price action took a dip downwards on September 10th. So look, the fact of the matter is they've been positive for a long period of time. They've been fluctuating based on short-term price action as is normal. But it's not only funding rates that are indicating that for the longest period of time here on Bitcoin, but specifically right now, the market is overbought, right? We're in massive periods of exhaustion here. That's not just funding rates that suggest that. I'm shocked that no one's really looking at it or paying any attention to it. But I'm also shocked that no one's really paying attention to any other indicator at the same time. So it's hard to be shocked about one specific thing. I'm just shocked about the whole situation. The whole situation is this. The whole situation is the market is bloody exhausted. Bearish divergence in the RSI, strong descending volume in this upwards trend, huge upwards trend with no correction whatsoever, 3.5 months of upwards trend with zero correction whatsoever. And look, we are in a situation now where we're forming some sort of double top formation. We're in a situation in which we need to be deciding, are we going down, are we going up? And the fact of the matter is, as I've been speaking about for the last few weeks, just incessantly talking about this over and over and over again, I'll continue to do so today, we need to be making the monthly candle close will be making a decision for us, I should say. The Ichimoku cloud baseline on the monthly chart is very, very important. It's the red line on the screen right here. And what you can see is that generally speaking, when we're below this line, we're in a bear market. When we're above it, we're in a bull market. Now we're in a period of time now where we're testing that line. We've got 3.5 days until the monthly candle close. It's sitting at 42.2k. And so if we close above 42.2k, that's excellent for the Bitcoin price action. If we close below 42.2k, that's not very good for the Bitcoin price action, but it would be healthy. Why would it be healthy? We have this chart here that shows you what Bitcoin is doing in this cycle in comparison to previous cycles. And you can see that Bitcoin is deviating a little bit higher than where it should be down here, meaning Bitcoin is a little bit too high up right now, which makes sense considering the fact that we're seeing massive exhaustion on the TA. So the argument is, well, this is the case you need to assess, right? It's like, well, why is Bitcoin moving upwards? Why is Bitcoin deviating a little bit too high from where it's meant to be right now? First of all, it's not abnormal for deviations to occur. We did the same thing in 2019. But why is it happening? It's happening because of the ETFs, guys. That's why it's happening, okay? I discussed this the other day. I'll discuss it again. Bitcoin has now gone 232 days, and this was 3 days ago, so it's actually 235 days now, since it saw a 25% plus correction. The last time we went this wrong without a 25% plus correction was 2011, 12 years ago. Okay, so what has plagued Bitcoin? Because something has. Something has. Okay, we haven't seen this kind of move upwards without correction since 2011. Okay, so something's happened here. We've got massive exhaustion of charts, but the price is just not moving down. What's happened? ETFs. ETF narrative. That is what is plaguing Bitcoin right now. And, you know, in a way, in the title, in the thumbnail, in the introduction, I said I'm shocked no one's looking at this. But in a way, I'm actually not shocked either. Because I'm shocked under the presupposition that people are actually relying on TA right now. But I know that's not the case. I know that TA is not why people are buying right now. It's the fundamentals that are making people buy right now. People are not caring about the charts. The fact of the matter is with TA is very, very, very useful. And it will always matter to an extent. But when people have the main priority of buying and selling Bitcoin related to a news event like ETF narratives, the TA is not going to matter as much. That's just a objective observation. It's got nothing to do with me defending anything. It's an objective observation. TA does not matter as much right now. Until the ETF decision, people will not be looking at TA as much as they usually do, which leads to inconsistencies in the TA like what we've been seeing over the past few months with massive exhaustion on funding rates, massive exhaustion all across every chart you can possibly look at, you know, deviations to the upside higher than what we're meant to do, and yet the price doesn't move down. The TA has plagued the Bitcoin charts. So what I'm looking at now, and this is why I'm making this video, right? I'm not just making this video to recap points I've made before. I'm making this video because I understand that using traditional methods of TA, we can look at the Ichimoku Cloud baseline and we can be like, and we can say basically, this is very major. If we get above it, it's very likely we go back below it. It's very unlikely, sorry, that we go back below it. Okay, I'll recap that because I stuttered. If we close above this line, if we close above 42.2k on the monthly candle close in 3 days and 22 hours, it, on a TA level, is very unlikely that we close back below it. And so, hence, it's very likely we enter a very strong upwards market, or at least continue the upwards market. The problem is, right, the market has been plagued by a lack of interest in TA. The market has been plagued for a long period of time now by a complete obsession with fundamental events and an ignorance of TA, quite frankly. And so, we could just scam above this Ichimoku Cloud baseline, see the ETF narrative play out on January 10th, and then go back down below it. That is a possibility. And it wouldn't be like it's impossible either from a TA perspective, because we did the same thing in 2014. If you look at 2014, for example, and this was in a period of time, by the way, where this line was already very relevant, right? We rejected from it here in 2012. We held it to the upside on multiple green candles here that took us all the way from $15 to about $100 and $250 on Bitcoin. So 5x there, or sorry, way more than a 5x, almost a 20x. And then we rejected from it. We held it for resistance. It was very, very relevant for about 2 years. And then in 2014, all of a sudden, we lost it for downside. We would have expected Bitcoin to keep going downwards. It actually didn't. It went back above this line, fake out above it, and then went down and again. And only then did we see the drop. So there was a period of time in 2014 where we just kind of jumped up and down, you know, within this Ichimoku Cloud baseline. It wasn't treated with the delicacy that it's been treated ever since then. You know, since then, starting in 2016, we've rarely respected this line. Whenever we've gone above it, we have never gone below it again. We just go above it and go up. Whenever we go below it, we just go down. There's no in between. Up, reject, down, up, down. Okay, so the degree of, you know, validity that it's had, or the degree of accuracy it's had since 2016 is unparalleled. It's 100% accurate. But it hasn't always been like that. In 2014, we saw a period of deviation. And so now we have to consider that, well, this is not a perfect indicator from TA metrics. And we also know that TA metrics aren't to be trusted massively right now. So we very well could see a scenario where we close the monthly candle above 42.2k, stay above for a while, for example, for a month, and then on February, or at least in January, whenever it may be, we come back down below it, and then we see our correction that's much needed. The fact of the matter is we are in much need of a correction. And when these news narratives subside, when they go away, when the ETF is approved, or on the unlikely chance that it's denied, and, you know, these narratives will go away, and then the driving force for Bitcoin price action and crypto price action will turn to TA. Okay, that's the reality. And TA says that we shouldn't be seeing a bull market until after the halving. So the TA is in very much need of a correction. It's the FA that is keeping Bitcoin stable. And with this said, we need to consider the possibility that we could do something that's very strange on the TA. And for this reason, I will not be buying Bitcoin if we close the monthly candle above 42.2k. I already have my Bitcoin bags packed. Okay, my average price on Bitcoin is 22k. Okay, I don't need to buy here. It's just not necessary. I don't need to buy here, and I'm an analyst. I trust TA. I don't want to buy here. And in trusting TA, I can say that the charts look exhausted, but even from a fundamental analysis perspective, I can very clearly say that, the charts are exhausted in the same manner. Even from fundamental perspectives, the charts are exhausted. Okay? Why do you think, and this is something I want to propose to people, and I've proposed it many, many times, I want to keep proposing it to people because it's very, very important people understand this. I don't understand why people think the ETF in the short term will pump Bitcoin. Okay? When the ETFs are approved, that is not the same thing as ETFs being released. The ETFs are released after they are approved, probably months after. So when ETFs are approved, the immediate short-term effect is not going to be huge whales throwing billions of dollars into the ETFs buying Bitcoin. No, the effect will be purely retail. The effect will be purely market participants trading on exchanges, for the most part. Look, the whales, the institutions, look, whatever, they've already bought in, they're already in. Okay, so it's just going to be retail trading the volatility based on news events and speculating. And given the fact that retail has driven this entire move to the upside, which we can prove by on-chain data and by basic logic, okay, the hype around ETF has led this move to the upside, why do you expect there to be more buying to be done? The fact of the matter is there's not many buyers left. That's the reality. So I'm a little bit skeptical about the whole perceived certainty I'm getting from people that the ETF is going to dramatically pump Bitcoin in the short term. The fact of the matter is, I'm not saying it's going to dump either. I'm just saying I'm not sure, and I'm certainly not convinced that it's 100% bullish. It very well could be a sell the news event. And this is why, when I'm looking at the monthly candle close, I can see that there is a very decent probability that Bitcoin could be held up by people unwilling to sell before ETF decision. And hence, Bitcoin could close above this Ichimoku cloud baseline, but overall could end up back below it by the end of January. So it's a very pretentious situation, and we need to treat it that way. We also have something like the golden cross on the 50 and 200 week SMA, so the weekly chart golden cross, which has never occurred before in Bitcoin's entire price history. It's a pretty major thing. Never occurred before in Bitcoin's entire price history, and it's occurring on the day of the monthly candle close. The fact of the matter is there's just too many variables to be sure about where this monthly is going to close, but in assessing those variables and in assessing how they can help us, we can very well get the opinion that this could be a massive scam. This whole thing could be a massive scam. We could close above it and scam right back down below it. And with that said, it's a time you need to be treating the market with a high degree of caution. I'm personally not touching the market that much leading up to this ETF event. Short-term trades, cool, but long-term Bitcoin buys or long-term Bitcoin sells, it's just not something I'm interested right now at this time in the market cycle as we head into these major ETF decisions, this major golden cross coming in just 3 days here. It's not something I want to touch, right? If we're talking about long-term investing, we need to be treating it as a long-term investment. We cannot be throwing our bags around about what happens within a week or within 10 days from now or 14 days from now when the ETF comes out. It's just not relevant. We need to be speaking on a month-to-month basis. Okay, so we need to be treating this seriously. We need to be taking it with a degree of caution here. That's why I have to say I'm a little bit shocked by the market right now, I will say. The fact that we've been just completely ignoring TA. I'm not shocked by it. I think shocked is the wrong word. I completely understand it. I actually understand it to a massive degree, and it makes complete sense. But I think it's shocking that people aren't registering what's actually happening, and they're not registering the fact that this whole move has nothing to do with, not much to do with TA, I should say. Not nothing, because we have been respecting TA levels. 38.5k was respected, 32k was respected. We will always respect TA to a certain extent. But there's periods of time, of course, when it becomes more useful and less useful. And right now, it's the macro TA we need to be focusing on. It's that monthly candle close. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We have just 3 days remaining on the VIP sale. 75 USD discount on the VIP membership for 1 year. Check out the information of the VIP group. If you want to trade altcoins with me on Telegram, this is the time you can do it, especially going into the bull run. This group is going to be growing in popularity massively. You can join the community. You can discuss the market 24/7 in there. We've got our trading results with an 80.5% win rate. You'd be a fool not to give it a try. 3 days remaining. Check it out. And if you need an exchange to buy and sell Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, whatever it may be, of course, you need an exchange, right? That's why you're watching this channel. Bingx is a global non-KYC exchange, and Bitget is a global KYC exchange minus for USA. Take your pick, depending on your geographical location, depending on if you want KYC or not. They're both very, very low in trading fees. They've both never been hacked before, and with my referral links, you can get a 15% USDT discount on all trading fees you incur in your entire lifetime on the exchange. So you can literally save thousands of dollars with my referral link Check out Bingx, check out Bitget, the links are below. And the Crypto Academy Become a Trader course will be useful for you if you want to learn how to trade before the bull market. It will teach you everything you need to know from a TA perspective, and also diving into fundamentals as well, and market psychology, how to find trades. All that kind of stuff is there. Basically everything you need to know. I'll say 90% of what you need to know to become a proficient trader is in this course. Check out the website with the link below, and the email address is on there for contact details. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow.